Red Scare, the time I trusted a tampon on the wrong day. I started my period when I was 9 years old, during the summer between 2nd and 3rd grade. And while you might think that someone who has been battling the red dragon for so long would get some leeway with a light or short cycle, that has never been my life. Instead, I'm the heavy flow, 7-day type of girl. So I was never really about that tampon life. At 9, when my flow was still relatively moderate, I wasn't skilled in the ways and workings of my vagina to be able to properly insert a tampon. By the time I got older, and my period settled into the monthly Hoover Dam release, a tampon wouldn't have done much for me. Plus, there was this borderline traumatic incident where my mom tried to insert one for me that just proved that tampons could in fact be the devil. So pads it was and still is. Today, I love the security I get from pads, but there were times when I wanted the freedom and air circulation that only a tampon could give. And somewhere along the way, my younger sister had become an expert at using them. So, I'd use them occasionally, at the end of my cycle on maybe the last 2 or 3 light days. It was during one of these light days that my friend and I went to explore Brooklyn in the summer. I wore an airy, dark floral print romper, a bandeau bra, a tampon, some comfortable, breathable drawers and open-toed sandals. My period was coming to an end, it was a nice summer day and I intended to celebrate the occasion. On the train to Brooklyn, I felt great. I had inserted the tampon in just right. I was good to go. But after the nearly hour-long commute, I started to wonder if today was really a light day after all. I thought I felt something sliding down my inner thigh. Must have just been sweat. But it wasn't that hot and I'm not naturally that sweaty. After an hour of walking around, it was clear that today was not as light as I thought. I should have worn a pad because blood was slowly starting to dampen the romper material in between my legs. So here I was an hour away from home, with no access to a bathroom. Anyone who lives in New York City knows that unless you're at a restaurant, businesses can be very stingy about letting the public use their toilets. I went to a nearby pharmacy and bought some pads, the cycle friends I should have trusted from the start. They would never have me out here soaking through my clothes in the middle of the street. My only saving grace was the fact that my romper was black, otherwise, everyone would have been privy to my misfortune. My friend and I kept walking until we stumbled upon a barbershop. Praying that blood wasn't running down my legs, I walked in and asked one of the barbers if I could use the restroom. Thankfully, he said I could. When I got in there I planned to just slap a pad on, flash that disloyal tampon and take my leaky vagina home. But when I took my romper off, the damage was more severe than I had anticipated. So I took both it and my panties off and rinsing them out in the sink. I'll spare you the details, but based on what the rinse revealed, it was anything but a light day. I walked out of the bathroom, 20 minutes later, with soaking wet drawers and a jumpsuit. But to clean wet, with soap and water. So I dealt with the discomfort. On my way home I sat on the plastic bag my pads came in and rode an hour back home, having learned a very vital lesson. Tampons aren't exactly the devil. But knowing my life and my flow, I'll always need a trusty pad as a backup.